Gacha Smack made this video. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I agree with the sentiment what Gacha Smack is saying. I don't think people have nuance, right? I don't think people understand nuance. I don't think people understand simple analogies. I'm not trying to be funny with you. I'm just being so serious. Like, it's not like a wow, holier than thou, I'm smarter than you. It's a simple fact that, like, they're taking this and then just turning it into something that it completely isn't. This is a minute long calling out Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and Wuthering Waves, right?
Man, I was thinking about it. Man, Oda, the creator of One Piece, bro, like, he drops an
You don't need to watch One Piece to understand this analogy, by the way. So here.
Episode of One Piece every single week, him and his team. And these episodes are about, what, 25 minutes long, and then it's always like 5 minutes of unnecessary catching up, bro, like just yapaholics. But regardless, it's an episode every single week, and they take very few breaks. Like, dude, dead ass. For the past, like, decade,
pulling up another tweet in the meantime.
This has just been an ongoing thing. Episode every single week. Regardless of the quality of the dialogue, if you want to do a little bit of critical observation of the dialogue in some of the One Piece episodes, yeah, they do a bunch of unnecessary yapping, but their unnecessary yapping is still peak in terms of gacha dialogue. Now, we take that into consideration, and then we think about gacha games, especially the mainstream ones. These mainstream gacha games, they drop debatably a quarter of one anime episode.
Bro.
And it's in comparison spread out to
true, by the way.
Little short cutscenes.
That is a legitimate fact, right? You know, so let's just keep it
here, 45 seconds there. Maybe if you're lucky, over a minute there. They take 6 weeks to drop, debatably at max, a quarter of an episode. Yeah, when you think about it in that perspective, it's quite insane, isn't it?
Right? Now, I don't think anything about this was controversial, because I think, again, that is objectively, it's a fact, brother. Can't take the comment down below. It makes all serious. Wait, what'd they say? I didn't even read it. What'd they say? Story in a game is like a story in a porn movie. It's expected to be there. Oh my God. Nah, this homie cooked. This singular homie, they cooked. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shout out to my man. This is like, again, this is objectively a fact. If you just Google how many cutscenes you get in a Genshin patch, in a Star Rail patch, in any single patch possible, you see that maybe it's totaling less than 15 minutes, right? Right? Not maybe. It's totaling less than 15 minutes. I don't think we've ever had a Genshin Impact patch where the cutscenes have been more than 15 minutes. Same for Star Rail. I don't, even with the 7 hours of Yapakoni, right? And so the thing is like, this went crazy, and I don't know why this went crazy. I really don't get it, because also at the end of the day, it's just one man's opinion, right? You know, I mean, if you consider how absolutely overworked and shambles anime industry workers are, yeah, sure. The thing about MAP is all eyes. So there was the other thing. I don't understand why people are not taking the two out of the thing. Like, they're not separating the two. Why not? It went crazy because don't talk bad about a billion-dollar company. Exactly. That's exactly why I don't think gacha players have an understanding of how the real world works. I don't think they've consumed other types of media. I don't think they played other video games. I think the gacha sphere is genuinely one of the most underdeveloped communities I think I've ever seen in my life. Genuinely. Because the point here is not saying that you need to pump out a million cutscenes and a million crazy things. The point is to give constructive criticism the fact that there's too much yap. They provide you the main cutscene in the trailer most of the time at the beginning of the patch, right? But these people on Twitter are stuck in their brain rot and stuck in like their gacha, their gacha war. It's like, guys, he is objectively saying that they put the bare minimum in. We just have to keep it a stack. Like, it's the truth. If they didn't put the bare minimum in, there would be more than just a 2-minute trailer out of maybe 5 or 6 minutes you get in the patch, at most 10 minutes. Like, I just don't understand how that's a hard concept. And so now, you know, when you go through these, this is 100% rage bait, but I'll bite. You were comparing two very different things. Anime is one thing where you can focus only on the story and don't have other upkeep anything. A 3 video game not only has main story, but events, new characters, modeling, QOL upkeep. Again, I don't understand how people don't also recognize that in game development, it's very simple. There's different teams for other things, right? So if I'm working on a quality of life team, and fucking Vortex is working on, like, let's say designing, the other team is working on story, right? And eventually at some point they all come together. And so if they put in a little bit more effort on these stories and these cutscenes, and they cut out yap and they add more meaningful dialogue, criticisms like this wouldn't happen. But the point is that they don't do this. Now, the reason why they don't do this is because it does not benefit them. It doesn't benefit them. If it benefited their bottom dollar, they would immediately change this. But that's not the case, right? People got fed Penacony. They got fed mediocre, and people were calling it Pika Coney, the greatest thing ever. Six, what's going on, brother? Welcome in. Have a great day today. I'm going to read everything in 2 seconds. People were calling it the greatest patch of all time, right? It just wasn't. It says, I'm so happy that this myth of the Penacony being the greatest thing of all time is no longer there. It only fucking took Ryuko to shit on the game. The fact that these companies earn so much money but make such a mediocre event, even shit stories, is the problem. They make so much money they can fund these games. So the crazy thing is, yes, these companies, Genshin Impact alone has made $5 billion, right? I guarantee you the highest grossing anime of all time has not made $5 billion. Frame, I'm sorry, Pokemon has made $100 billion, right? But the reason why Pokemon has made $100 billion is because over time, Pokemon actually, reinvents the wheel, puts in effort, delivered all different types of products, etc., etc. But like something like Naruto, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Naruto, yeah, but like we have to talk $5 billion in an X amount of time, and they still deliver on the lower end of stuff. It's fucking insane, right? So the counter arguments are just stupid. It's not the fact that it's 3D modeling to 2D drawing. That's not it at all, boys. It's just the fact that they're two different facets, but they both work with teams, multi-million-dollar companies, and they're both very unique in their own way. And although anime has filler episodes, I would rather watch a filler episode of Naruto fighting zombies with some fucking weirdo named Sora. I can understand calling out Genshin and Honkai, but Wuthering is a weird one if how quick the stories are. Also, the guy who creates anime drawing are often overworked, like the studios who do Chainsaw Man. I don't disagree with you, but okay, I think we're missing the point. I think we're missing the point here, right? Because no one is saying to overwork the studio to inhumane ways, right? Like how the Spider-Man, the most recent Spider-Man. Again, nobody is saying to work the studios to have inhumane conditions. That's not at all. I think it's pretty fair to say if you just cut out a little bit of yap, don't continuously reuse assets, especially for big fight scenes and big things that are important to the game, and just actually put a little bit more effort into the actual story of the video game, you will result in a better product, right? But unfortunately, that doesn't really happen. And so I don't know why people are taking offense to that, because like realistically, that is the case, right? Like that is the case. I mean, you could do side by sides of tons of cutscenes in these games, and it's reusing the same assets, and every company does that. That's not the point. Like I understand that, but like it gets to a point, it's like we need to do something a little bit new, right? And also, I think people are really overestimating how these quests go. So wait a second. I'm going to bring up my YouTube. I'm going to use my own video for an example, right? Let's pull up a random story quest. Just a Genshin one. Bam. Okay, cool. Guys, most of Genshin and Star Rail, this is primarily the story. This is primarily the story here. It looks so young. It's back when I slept a little bit. I don't sleep anymore. But this is the story. Minimal animations, really nothing going on. It's fucking, it's not that bad. Like I think when people are complaining, oh, by the way, I was crying here. I was crying a little bit because that was a sad scene, right? Because that was a good story. But like, I think when people are thinking of gacha games, they're thinking of something like Spider-Man 2 cutscene or some shit, right? They're thinking of something so crazy, so exorbitant, something insane, and it's just not the case, right? Like, we don't even get anything a fraction of this, of to this quality, of to all this nonsense, whatever the case may be. And it's not like they don't have the money for it, because again, they are a multi-billion dollar company, right? This is Spider-Man. Or if you look at God of War, whatever the case, like this is how the game is, right? And so obviously this is a particular cutscene, but the game is very animated. It's not just still stiff movements and whatnot. Like this is fucking crazy. And the dialogue is good. I think it's very simple to say, hey, the dialogue is underwhelming. The cutscenes don't feel important. Can we get something a little bit more spicy? I really don't think this is a bad take. I don't think this is a hot take. Wait, I forgot I gotta do this too. Like I don't see why this is a negative and why we're trying to yell at Gacha Smack over it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of stupid. That's my point. Spider-Man 2 PC 1, bro. Nikkei story, then you have to sleep again. I do. Like, common people who never played a story game, I think it's mainly the gacha community who's never played any video games. You know what I'm saying? What up, Tiger? Give me a shout out for Tiger. Damn, yo, Stinky, how are you? If you're having a great fucking day today, welcome in. And yo, Yuri, damn you up as well. If you're having a great day today as well, dog, welcome in. Play Final Fantasy 7 remake cutscenes. No, exactly. Play Final Fantasy 17. Is it a bad take to say getting paid at least 100,000 plus on an extra for overtime if you consider overthinking? Probably couldn't do something else. Is that bad a take? No, Yuri. So I mean, like, there's like, I get what you're saying. Excuse me. There's legitimately companies and studios and whatnot that overwork their employees, and even though they make a bag, they still get overworked. They work in bad conditions. I think anybody who is taking that and misconstruing Smack's argument for that is just fucking goofy and doesn't deserve the time of day, right? Because of the fact that nobody is saying you have to do this. It is a very simple fix. Put up a job application and rework your writing team. Less yap, more animators if they're really struggling. But the problem is they're not struggling. That's what it is. They are not struggling. They just will not do it because it not affect their bottom dollar. If it was something where it affects their money, they would do it, right? Pancakes versus waffles, sweet once again, exactly. It is 100% one of the pancakes versus waffles. If you say I like pancakes, so someone's gonna be like, so you're telling me you hate pancakes and love waffles or some bullshit. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, right? So then, and again, look, I like Sip 7, but I like Bran. I actually met Bran at TwitchCon. Absolutely the fucking nicest human being on the world, him and Dora, right? First of all, the clown emojis were extra. Because, and here's the thing that I think is annoying with the space. If someone does not agree with what you were saying, or if you do not like their take, and you do stuff like that, you're asking for someone to clap back, brother. You're asking for someone to clap back. Like, I'm gonna just keep it a stack. You know, someone hits me with some 2 clown emojis when I'm giving my opinion on a multi-billion-dollar company, I'm clapping at your ass. I'm gonna just keep it a stack. Like, we're gonna Ja Rule you. It is what it is. It is what it is. Like, you were about to end up like Ja Rule, and you're gonna have to go and make a fake island event or some shit to get some money because you're not gonna be able to recover. Look at the first reply. Leave the multi-billion-dollar company alone. That's what I'm saying, bro. He might have mistook them for the mirror emoji, bro. I don't know what that means, but yo, what's good, Brad? Like, okay, clown face. Making anime, making video games / video game cutscenes are 2 totally different things. Nobody is saying that they're not different things. I think, again, once again, Smack is pointing out that these are other studios and other forms of media that are able to deliver high quality over and over and over again with far less monetary gain and far less people working for them. Why can't Hoyoverse do it? I think it's very simple. I really don't think it takes that much brain power to figure that out, right, or unpack that statement. Game devs are overworked and video game crunches sadly on an industry standard, which he's not wrong, right? Sip is not wrong about this statement. There are tons of people who absolutely, I'll lurk. Yo, I appreciate the fuck out of you, Fumi. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate you, Stinky. Enjoy. I think Stefan made his tweet without any knowledge of object-oriented programming. It's completely to prove his point. You know, what I miss, yo, let's go, Foo. It's not drama. Like, I don't think this is drama. I think it's good to have these conversations. I think it's very good to have these conversations because if we do not address situations like this in the space can never grow and the space will never become better, right? I actually want to address something about drama on my channel after, but we'll do that after. You cannot... The space, how does anyone expect anything to ever get better if everyone's too scared to discuss things with each other and then after that say, oh, well, I don't like drama? No, it's not that you don't like drama, you don't like confrontation. That is different. If you don't like confrontation, who the fuck cares? Don't be a part of it, right? You don't have to be a part of it, right? But people talking about it is not drama. I know, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Foo, but I'm just bringing it out there. I'm making a generalized statement that shit is fucking annoying. But nah, you're chilling. This Goober has takes, yeah. Hoyo makes high quality trailers that they never get into the game, so they definitely have the ability to. Oh, for sure. Honkai Impact 3 has tons of high quality things in there that you know, again, it's just a disconnect. They don't provide that. The reason why Hoyoverse makes high quality trailers is because it promotes the patch for people to spend money. But when they're in the game already and they already bought the character, the story / events cutscenes are not selling the characters like that. Most people wind up pulling for the character before they play the story. Obviously, you have the subsection of people who do it, who pull for the character once they finish the story, but by that time, they're already emotionally invested because they never played another game in their life, and they think that, Pentacle is the greatest thing ever, right? So, but again, this is not necessarily wrong. Game devs are overworked and video crunches sadly, but also, again, I don't think that has anything to do with this. And also, again, they have billions and billions of dollars. Very simple for them to fix this. 6-week update cycle is insanely fast. Be for real, this is so out of touch in my opinion. 6-week update cycle is wild. That is a fast turnaround. I mean, it is. You know, a lot of times we talk about how we want things now, etc. The case, but 6 weeks update cycle, that's pretty fast. I'll give the homie that. But the thing is that realistically, what is being delivered in these updates? Almost 95% of the time, it's a rerun or a rerun of certain things like events, shitty stories that that are just almost identical to this, right? Most of the time, it's just people talking like this. This is not hard to code. I'm getting ad revenue on my own video W's in the chat. That is not a hard thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that deep. Normally, for the first 2 to 3 patches, we get a plethora of a bunch of new shit, and then it starts to kind of rerun, right? So, again, nobody's talking about making more characters. Nobody's talking about making better events. Nobody's talking about anything like that. They're simply saying, give me more story. Give me good cutscenes. Cut out the yap. But once again, that is misconstruing to the max. But it is what it is. What can you do? I always imagine if they put Robin Shirley in the game before we see her in the tub, it would have been so much better, 1000%. There's no reason why those things should not be in the video game directly, as opposed to having to go to outside sources for everything. It's insane. This is one of the reasons why I keep coming back. You're very respectful and talk about all the important sides. Both you and St. Tony is very respectful. I love you, Kat. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Look, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't have to be a personal thing, but when you fucking start off like this, then you're gonna turn into a personal thing because content creation is flared with a bunch of egos and shit like that. And it's like, bro, like, fucking people could disagree to disagree, right? You know, but don't be a dick about it. As someone that works in corporate, the crunch is there because companies are trying to keep profits as close as possible without hiring new members. That's not a dev issue, that's a management issue, 1000%. 1000,000,000%. Again, to pretend that there's devs or there's anime studios or animation studios that are not on crunch is insane, but that is not what is being spoken here, right? So then what was Gacha Smacks' reply? Where was this? Riddle me this. Why are the best cutscenes always contained in the marketing of the patch versus the actual patch, which I've already addressed? The reason why those is to sell you on the character. So they put all their time and money into the marketing so you could buy said character. If Hoyo is so overworked to add in a couple more cutscenes, how did they go from only having Honkai Impact 3rd to having Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, and Animal Crossing game in the work simultaneously? They're also hiring for 4 other IPs, by the way. That is not a leak. That is something that you can go to their websites and see. They are hiring for 4 new fucking games. Sidebar. Hoyo can easily hire more studios. They won't. Expense that looks bad on accounting statements. Exactly. Huntress also was good. 6. I'm doing good. 3 weeks of my vacation. Let's go. Hoyo has the money to buy a small country that can fix their problems. Exactly, Shay. No Gambo was good backs. They have tons of money. They have unlimited money. It's insane how much money they have, bro. It really is, right? So, but okay. Keep it going. When they release another game that requires 500 more employees to code, scriptwrite, animate, characters design, bug, quality of life fix, are they still going to be classified as overworked and not having the time? How quickly you fake-ass business experts expose yourself. A $30 billion company can always hire more teams to get the projects done simultaneously. Stick to the weak-ass infographics and frame 1 news reports, little... All right, man. I like shit, but I mean, like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna come at the man with the clown faces and shit like that, and I think what made it worse is, unfortunately, again, this is no disrespect to the homie, but like, he then contradicted himself in the next tweet. He legitimately pouring money on a problem doesn't always yield results in video game development. We've seen countless multi-million-dollar ideas and projects end for the failure. I don't take Overwatch 2 PvE. Overwatch 2 PvE is a very bad example because realistically, that shit just fucking sucked, and a very small majority wanted that, and it was just a bad investment. Overwatch was in the shitter, and the Overwatch community was looking for the game to be like Overwatch 1 and not some dog shit PvE content. That is just a really bad example. It is what it is. Adding more people to a team sometimes create longer pipelines and more confusing chains of commands, which actually can result in less productive work. A $30 billion company, I think, should be able to handle that. This might sound really out of touch. Spending money could possibly end poorly, so don't spend money. Yeah, I know, exactly. Overwatch 2 PvE lost devs, exactly. So, here's the thing. But why they spend money? Because, this is gonna sound rude. And it's not, but it's the God's honest truth, right? If I'm playing a gacha game and I've poured thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, or viewers or chatters, whoever the case may be, it is not the consumer's problem to figure out how they can deliver on these problems. I'm gonna just keep it a stack, right? That might sound mean, or it might sound like very, inconsiderate, right? But the fact of the matter is that gacha games are predatory. They are legal gambling, and it's not just limited to gacha games. If I'm buying a video game and they ask me for feedback, I give them my feedback. It is also not my job to go in there and code that shit for them or figure out their business practices. As a consumer, if you want me to keep spending money when I give you my feedback, you have to listen and you have to deliver on these changes. I can't tell you how to run your $30 billion company. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't think people don't like to say that because it comes off as inconsiderate. Nobody's saying to overwork your staff. Nobody's saying to do anything crazy. Nobody's saying to do anything like that at all. They're simply saying take out less yap and put some more money into your video game, because they don't, right? They just don't put money, especially Genshin Impact. So again, you go from it doesn't change everything to, and then, well, you know what I'm saying? It's just Hoyoverse was able to create even more gacha games because they created even more teams. I don't think the team working on Genshin is also working on Star Rail, ZZ, and Honkai Impact 3. These are all separate development teams. I'm sure there was a crossover, especially in upper management, but at a more micro level, it would be insane for a single dev to work on all these games at once. No one's saying that, by the way. I'm sure Hoyo has expanded their teams for each game, and of course there's always room for improvement and efficiency, but I still believe your initial comparison was out of touch and not in the reality of game development. Again, the comparison was fine because of the fact that this is something, it's more than just that. Looking at it at a surface level, unfortunately, ruins the whole statement, and then after that, you get conversations like this occurring on the internet, right? Technically, putting less yap should save money, without a doubt. People are always way too concerned about the company's financials more than the amount of fun. Yeah, it's insane. Why am I worried about Hoyoverse at $30 billion? I'm not. Not sure why you're randomly going at infographics. And again, being super passive aggressive on a public platform where all of your audience is watching and could cause drama, and then after that you're wondering why he's being passive aggressive or more direct back to you. It's just goofy, man. And again, defending multi-billion-dollar companies, if we're saying that there's room for improvement, one single man is giving his thought process on the room for improvement, and then we then attack him for it. It's fucking stupid. It's dumb. It's just absolutely fucking brain dead things like this that happen in the community, and that nobody, like, why are we not talking about this more? Like, guys, it's okay to criticize. It's okay, right? And most of the time, someone like Gacha, someone like Techie, someone like myself will give a problem and then deliver a solution, right? So it's not just straight up complaining, it's criticism, because there is more there to unpack and say, okay, well, here's X, Y, and Z on how you could fix this. So I just don't understand this narrative that like he just completely contradicted his own point. And then again, this whole fucking thread is going crazy, and it's like, Jesus Christ, man. It's just fucking insane. I'm going to try to tell people about a game dev. Yeah, by the way, I'm afraid that the trend is Hoyo deleted one of the common pull characters after beta, and it's already most high. Wait, what do you mean, Fu? But in Bethesda games, people buying and then fix all the stuff themselves, that too. Is it between telling them how to manage their and a fucking stupid skip button? It's so fucking out of touch. Like, everyone's saying this is an out of touch take because they want to have some sort of, like, I don't know, it comes off to me like they want to have a moral high ground, that they accept the way the game is and they're willing to be patient because they think if the company cares more, it will make these workers work more. And I just don't think that is the case. I think they're delivering slop intentionally, as all companies do. And someone saying, maybe let's not have slop. Let's maybe have something a little bit more actually digestible, that's not dog shit, and can make the game more fun. And so then it's like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing this? You know what I'm saying? You should be able to tell the chef how this tastes exactly. Positive criticism is usually like the game, unlike renting, which is very different objective. Yeah, you have a mobile devices which limited storage, and you have three options: pay thousands of dollars for devices endorsement. Also, one of the Hoyo games asks for games to reduce the size of cost. Which one do you choose? That's for everyone. That's every person's prerogative, right? These Hoyo shows really think they'll get rewards for riding Hoyo's 24/7. I also don't understand, because I feel like he had a lawsuit with Hoyoverse or some shit like that. So it's like he's not even a Hoyo shill per se. Right? But I just don't know why we're going so ride or die. Sass, are you asking me personally what I would pick? Defending this is why Genshin stated it is. It's simple. ZZ fan base made it clear TVs were shit and they removed it. Who would have known criticism caused changes? Well, also one of the reasons why ZZZ is changing is because the game is performing horrendously. The game is bad. The game, excuse me, let me rephrase that. The game is a very good game, but they have not captured the market in a way that they wanted to, and it is just performing bad, so they are making changes so that way people can come back to it. So it's a combination of consistently losing money on their investment as well as negative feedback that they are now saying, okay, let's make some changes. Wow, that is such a crazy concept. Stop spending money on the video game and talk openly about the things you dislike. Maybe something will change, but who am I, right? I'm just a random dude on the internet. Vote with your wallet, people. Exactly, Cap. What's going on, brother? The ZZ story makes me go, yeah. So Red New tweeted out something about the Gacha Smack video. For your information, 13 episodes take about 6.5 months to complete production. This is with concurrent teams working on each episode simultaneously. An episode is scheduled to take about 20 weeks, but crunch the time to get down to 10, not just animation. It's an entirely different process and totally different product. Hoyoverse sets a standard of what you get from a 6-week update cycle. We all know that each intermittent patch is a break patch and has way less of a budget. I don't really care for the Gacha Smack made this take. Production of any anime is not common knowledge, but what doesn't fail to get my eyes rolling is the Gacha community's ever increasing level of standards for the company that sets the standard. You can be disappointed with that you get, sure, but expecting more quality and more content when frankly no other company matches it, given the game's update cycles and number of deliverables needed, is absolutely ridiculous. Throwing money and manpower at the project doesn't magically enhance quality or shorten work time. There are limits, and worse, these limits tighten as you introduce more staff and more overhead. Challengers, new teams leading new IPs or sequels are the only ones with the potential to set the new standard, either by setting it themselves or lighting a fire under the leader's ass and run away with the lead. Genshin Team 20 was that challenger. The reality that so many people in this community refuse to accept that the game they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on has since lost its luster and cannot meet their ever-increasing demands. Your choices are to accept that game is not likely to improve significantly unless a significant challenger enters, or stop sinking time and money into it, something that isn't for you anymore. Asking for changes or pivots in content makes sense. Maybe asking for more quality is fine too, but realize the rate of growth for your demands vastly outpaces the company is able to meet. What Red New is saying here, I think, is not correlating to what Gacha Smack is saying, though. I don't think Gacha Smack is saying to have, like, we'll take Genshin back, for example, have the overall better game, better gameplay, more end game, etc., etc. I don't think that's what Gacha is trying to say here. I think what Gacha Smack is trying to say is it just blows his mind that other forms of media can deliver with way less people, way less money, way less time, and more meaningful content and meaningful substance. And then after that, we're sitting here with these gacha games and they get glazed to infinity and beyond. And it's like, at least put in a little bit more effort. I don't think he's wrong in the sense, like, listen, these games might not be for everybody. Look at MTash. Path of Exile 2 is a perfect game for someone like MTash, even myself, right? I love Path of Exile 2. That's a game where there's a million skill trees, there's a million skill nodes, there's tons of end game. It's an unlimited content machine. You will never run out of content with that game. So I think that Red New's point is not 100% correlating to the Gacha Smack video. It's very fair to say, listen, people have way too high expectations for these games, and that realistically, you know, Genshin will never change. Sorrow will never change. I think that's fine, like the core mechanics of it. But it's not bad to say, can you at least put a skip button? Add less yap. Make the cutscenes feel important. Put the cutscenes in the game. Make the story more interactive. You know, I think that's very fair. So I think he was just using that as an analogy, as one particular form of media. So I really don't 100% think these correlate with that. To be very transparent with you, I really don't. I also don't think it's a bad take either. Don't expect too much. Dawe, he's gonna cry again. Well, Dawe cried for me specifically. Like, Dawe hit me on my line. He said, yo, bro, we gave you $300 in payouts for the Hoyoverse program. I'm like, yo, I'm crying for you. It's separate from true reality of things, though, because what does any of this have to do with, like, let's say a skip button? No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. What does that have to do with the skip button? What does that have to do with making the cutscenes feel more full, more fulfilling? Not cutscenes, excuse me. Let me say the static things, right? We've seen Star Rail. What they'll do is the characters are stiff. They stand the same for 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is, and then they'll put a still image on the screen for X amount of time and run dialogue over it. That is laziness. That can be fixed. We're not talking about core mechanics. We're not talking about core gameplay. If you're talking about core mechanics, core gameplay, etc., yeah, I mean, I get that. But also look at ZZZ. ZZZ is doing a soft reset because the game is fucking flopping and nobody wants to play it. You know, Smack wanting better quality is fine, but him comparing two completely different forms of media is unnecessary, in my opinion. I don't think it's unnecessary. I think people are diving too deep into the thing that he's comparing the animes, because realistically, it's not. It's just a simple aspect of how can these companies develop better stories with better visuals, a lot faster than this. Obviously, again, 3D modeling, whatever. I went over this before. I think it's just based off of the principles. Like, it's possible, but Hoyoverse and Wuwa just won't do it because it does not affect their bottom line, right? Plus, the quality can also be fixed with better plot development so that cutscenes are more impactful. Exactly, Tiger. Exactly. As well. Exactly. I agree 100%. So, like, I get what Red is saying, but I don't necessarily, I think they're 2 and 2. I don't think they're 1 to 1. I don't think they're 1 to 1. Again, we went over the tip stuff. You know, it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I mean, it's easier for Genshin. They have more time than animes. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not hard to make the characters move a little bit more. Most recently in I don't know if it was a side quest or the main quest, Lolly was moving a lot more, right? They kind of made it more. Look at NTE. I think NTE is a perfect example of a game that has more interactive and more creative ways of telling their story in terms of just how the characters are moving in non-cutscene animations. Excuse me, they're animations, right? Out of cutscenes. ZZZ, a great way of telling story. I think it is very simple and it is not asking for too much to have the companies not 100% change their storytelling or adapt ZZZ storytelling, but there's no fucking reason why you can't take what NTE is doing and apply it to Genshin. The only reason why they will not do it is because their bottom line has not been affected and the formula is broke, so they will not fix it. That's not a big ask. It really isn't. So that's one rant, YouTube. Enjoy the video. Love you. See you in the next one. Bye.